Ambani calling these changes an emotional moment.
Yeah, that's right, Heidi, but probably not without precedent, because we know, of course, Mukesh Ambani is someone who's been focused on developing his children into key leadership roles for a number of years now. So we just saw 3 years ago, for instance, that he handed Isha, Akash and Anand bigger roles in the business, in key divisions as well, in the energy, retail and digital services divisions. But the most recent ones, yes, we just heard there, essentially the three are going to be elevated to the board as non-executive directors. At the same time, Mukesh's wife Nita is going to be stepping down and focusing more on charitable endeavours, though Ambani does say that she will continue to attend all board meetings as a permanent invitee. But why essentially make these changes now? That's a question, of course, but Mukesh has essentially been planning for the next chapter of Reliance Industries. This is about succession planning. He says he's going to be staying in the position of chair and managing director for the next 5 years, but helping his children take on bigger roles within the business and preparing them to lead the company into the future. Of course, Mukesh is someone as well, not without saying notable, that he does have that experience of succession planning, not really being present, because Mukesh's father passed away in 2002. He died without a will, and then that really sparked or led to a very public, a very nasty clash between Mukesh and his brother that was only stopped or halted after his mother stepped into the fray to divide the businesses between the two brothers. So it's just a personal experience, also informing that decision to make it very public, this succession planning now in place.
So aside from the leadership planning, what else came out from the AGM?
Well, going into the meeting, Sherry, a lot of the focus really was on the transition that the company is making into renewable energy in particular. And that was one of the key takeaways, that Reliance saying that it now has visibility on the cost of electrolyzers, and that should help them to reach their cost targets as well on green hydrogen. So the company is aiming to switch to green hydrogen for internal use, and then to boost the output of green ammonia and green methanol for the domestic and export markets. So this is really also playing out into other parts of the business as well, because Reliance also says it's going to be setting up a battery gigafactory, and that's going to be helping to manufacture battery chemicals, cells and packs, and that should take place by 2026. So it's essentially about Reliance trying to leverage its capabilities in offshore oil and gas exploration, and then to put them into related renewable energy areas like offshore wind and geothermal.
What's been the investor reaction?
I think it's important to note, Heidi, we did see Reliance closing down around 1% or thereabouts, but it is important to note that the AGM was still taking place whilst this shareholder meeting was underway. Rather, I should say that the shareholder meeting was underway and it continued after the close of markets. So probably still some investor reaction to be playing out here. But we did see Reliance down 1%. We also saw its Geofinancial Services unit dropping 1.6%. That is important to note as well in the context of how Indian stocks performed yesterday, because broadly they were higher, but still a little bit jittery really in the Indian benchmark as a whole, because we actually have seen key stock gauges in India registering their longest stretch of weekly losses since May of last year into the end of last week as well. So perhaps we'll see more investor reaction today, given, as I said, that AGM was still underway as the markets closed there, Heidi.